Okay, everybody, we are back at Hanson Health Solutions, and we've been talking about the Nutreval functional test, probably our most comprehensive functional test, and we've got actually a patient's results here that we want to kind of walk you through a little piece of that. So AJ, if you would, tell us a little bit about the patient first, so we know kind of what we're dealing with and why we're seeing what we are on the results.
So this patient came in with extreme fatigue. She could not do any of her daily activities. She could barely work, and she works remotely, and she would take naps during the day. She was just unbelievably fatigued and was needing some help with that.
And what made you choose to do the Nutreval over some other test?
So the Nutreval has, as you mentioned, so much information in it. It tells us about the energy cycle, which is one of the reasons that I ordered it for her, to see if her body was even producing any energy, and also tells us so much about the vitamin and mineral status, how she's digesting the food she's eating, if she's eating the appropriate foods, proteins, fatty acids that you get from fish, and then also toxic load and things like that. So it's an extremely comprehensive test.
Awesome. And I know we don't have time to go through everything, but maybe if you could, let's flip through the test results so they can kind of see just how comprehensive that is. And then if you want to hone in on one or two sections that we could go over.
Sure. So this is just sort of an overview of what they found, and is very helpful in that it tells us which vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants this patient needed help with. So as you can see, she needed a lot of help in quite a few areas, and unfortunately she was taking supplements. They just weren't high quality because she was not being able to use them appropriately in her body. So we did get her started on some better quality supplements as well. And then as you can see,
very comprehensive report. Yes.
Report. This is just even more in depth on that first page. And then this is actually the section that she really struggled with, and the one that I'd like to go over today. So this is probably my favorite page of the test because it tells us so much information, and I'm visual, so I do better when I can see exactly what's happening. So this page, first, this is the food that you're taking in. It tells us how you're digesting the food. So she's doing okay on fats, but here on carbohydrates, she is struggling to digest her carbohydrates as well as we would like. And then the amino acids is a completely separate page because that is so comprehensive as well. So all the food you eat comes to this one molecule called acetyl-CoA, and that enters this citric acid cycle, which is the energy cycle. So this is the energy cycle that every cell in our body uses to make energy. And when we say energy, you and I think of like the energy to be able to do things every day, but from your body's perspective, this is just basic functions: digestion, your heart beating, all the chemical reactions that it needs to occur every day. So this is much more down in the weeds, I guess we could say. So here, as we go through the citric acid cycle, you can see she's having some problems in multiple steps, but here's one right here. She dropped off completely to where they could not detect this chemical. And it's either, this red tells us it could be these things that are interfering with this step: arsenic, mercury, antimony, fluoride, or it could be that she doesn't have these things: iron, and then this is glutathione. So, and then as you continue down, she falls off again here, very low. They couldn't detect this one. And again, you can see it could be any of these things in here that she doesn't have: magnesium, manganese, B vitamins. And that's why on her first page, you saw that she had a very high need for B vitamins. And so looking at this cycle again here, she's really high. So she is this cycle is broken. She is not producing any energy. This is the reason she is unbelievably fatigued, is because she does not have energy to do even her basic bodily functions. So definitely doesn't have energy to get up and, exercise or do the things that she wants to do in her life, her hobbies and things like that.
Okay, a couple questions.
Yeah.
So, she's got super low energy. We run the test. We see here her energy production cycle is broken in a variety of ways. And what's amazing about this is it lets us know both sides of the story. Is it just a deficiency of certain nutrients, or is there a wrench in the gears, so to speak, which is very helpful. We know that she was taking supplements, so she was kind of she had the right idea as far as maybe filling in some of the deficiencies, but she made the mistake of not using quality supplements. And so either she wasn't taking near enough of those, or they just weren't gonna really quite do the trick for her. What happens to a patient like this if they go straight to conventional medicine?
Oh, well, they would check, like, say her thyroid, make sure she's not anemic, just do a few blood tests. For her, I did those tests as well. They all came back normal. And so she would have been told, well, maybe you're depressed, but we don't have an answer for you. And that's pretty typical. And as you can see, we do have an answer if you run the test.
So what's the plan? It seems pretty straightforward at this point.
Absolutely. So with her, we got her on some high quality supplements. The B vitamins, that's so important because they are something called methylated, which means they're ready for your body to use. And so for her, that was really key in getting some high quality supplements on board. And then also we started her on IV vitamin C therapy. And she had 6 treatments of that. I saw her 6 weeks later. And she was so excited because she had energy to clean her house, and she had done crafts for Christmas presents, which was something that she would not have been able to do before. So she's definitely feeling better. This is gonna take a while to get her fully back to where she wants to be, but a huge improvement in 6 weeks just with those 2 things.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. Great example here. Again, that's just a couple pages of the whole report. We've got another, another 10, 15 pages there of information to go off of. But yeah, that Nutreval is one of my favorite tests. I know you really like that one too. And this here is exactly why. If you're watching this, hopefully that shines some light on kind of how we do things and why, and the utility of this test. Thanks, AJ, for sharing that with us. And we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.